Most men sabotage their chances with women without even realizing it. They make crucial mistakes that weaken their masculine frame, lower their value, and kill attraction instantly. The modern dating world is ruthless. Women are naturally drawn to strength, confidence, and leadership, and they instinctively reject anything that signals weakness or neediness. If you're making these mistakes, you're setting yourself up for failure before you even begin. A Stoic man understands that relationships, like life, require discipline, emotional control, and unwavering self-respect. Without these, you become easy to manipulate, easy to discard, and worst of all, you lose respect for yourself. The key is not to play the game on her terms, but to master yourself so that attraction happens naturally, without force or desperation. Before we dive in, if you're serious about mastering your mindset and becoming the best version of yourself, subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset and hit the like button. This channel is dedicated to helping men cultivate strength, confidence, and wisdom in every area of life. Now, let's get into it. 1. Chasing instead of attracting. One of the biggest and most common mistakes men make is chasing women instead of naturally attracting them. This single behavior alone can determine whether a woman sees you as a man of value or just another disposable option. When you chase, you unconsciously communicate that she has more worth than you, that her presence in your life is more important than your own self-respect. Attraction is built on admiration and respect. When a woman senses that you are desperate for her attention, she immediately loses both. A Stoic man never pursues anything in a way that compromises his self-worth. He understands that his purpose, mission, and growth come first. Women are drawn to men who don't seek external validation because it signals strength. Chasing, on the other hand, is the act of trying to prove your worth rather than simply embodying it. Think about the men that women admire most: powerful leaders, successful entrepreneurs, disciplined athletes. These men don't chase women. They attract them effortlessly because they are too focused on their own growth to waste time seeking approval. Women can sense when a man is overly invested in winning them over. They can feel the insecurity behind excessive texting, constant availability, and eagerness to please. Instead of being a challenge, you become an easy win. And here's the brutal truth: easy wins are never valued. When something requires no effort, it is seen as cheap. Women crave men who set the standard, who make them earn their attention, who value themselves enough to walk away from anything that doesn't serve them. So how do you stop chasing and start attracting? It begins with shifting your mindset. Instead of focusing on how to get women, focus on how to become a man that naturally draws them in. Build your confidence through discipline, physical fitness, and financial independence. Develop a sense of purpose that extends beyond relationships. When you are truly content with your life and unbothered by whether or not a woman stays or leaves, you become magnetic. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The moment you stop chasing and start becoming, you'll notice a shift. Women will begin to seek your validation instead. They will sense that you are not like other men, that your attention must be earned. And when they realize that you will not bend your standards for them, their attraction will grow stronger. A true Stoic man doesn't chase, he walks his own path. And if a woman is worthy, she will follow. 2. Over-explaining yourself. One of the most unattractive things a man can do is over-explain himself. It's a subtle but destructive habit that signals insecurity, a lack of self-trust, and a deep need for external validation. Men who constantly justify their actions, opinions, or choices to women don't realize that they are silently destroying their own credibility. Instead of appearing strong and confident, they come across as weak, uncertain, and desperate for approval. A man who truly understands his value never feels the need to over-explain. His presence, his decisions, and his actions speak for themselves. Women are highly intuitive. They can sense when a man is unsure of himself, and they instinctively lose respect for him when he starts rambling or justifying his decisions. Why? Because confidence is quiet, while insecurity is loud. A man who knows his worth doesn't need to beg someone to understand him. He simply is, and that certainty is magnetic. When you explain too much, you are unconsciously seeking permission, hoping for validation that your choices are acceptable. But here's the reality. The moment you ask for approval, you lower your status. Think about the most powerful men in history. Do you think Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, or Marcus Aurelius wasted time over explaining themselves? No. They made decisions, and they stood by them. They understood that true authority comes from conviction, not excessive words. When a man over-explains, he gives away his power because he shows that he cares too much about what others think. A Stoic man, on the other hand, embraces the power of silence. So why do men feel the need to over-explain in the first place? The root cause is fear, the fear of rejection, disapproval, or being misunderstood. But a high-value man understands that not everyone will agree with him, and he is at peace with that. He does not need to clarify his every move or justify his preferences. If a woman questions why he does something, he doesn't launch into a long-winded explanation. Instead, he simply says, "Because that's what I decided." No excuses. No neediness. Just quiet confidence. For example, imagine a man who orders a specific drink at a restaurant, and his date playfully questions his choice. A weak man might feel the need to explain why he picked it, hoping she approves. But a strong man simply smiles and says, "Because I like it." The difference is subtle but powerful. One response seeks validation, the other asserts self-trust. Women test men all the time. They want to see if you will stand your ground or bend under pressure. If she asks, "Why don't you text me more?" and you respond with, "I'm just busy, but I'll try to text you more," you have already lost. Instead, a confident man would say, "I don't text much, I prefer meeting in person." No apologies, no unnecessary explanations. A woman may challenge you, but deep down, she respects a man who holds his ground. In life and in relationships, less is more. When you over-explain, you dilute your own authority. Instead of proving yourself with words, prove yourself with action. When you speak, make every word count. A man of few words carries an air of mystery, and mystery fuels attraction. A true Stoic man values his own time and energy too much to waste it on needless explanations. He understands that his decisions do not require approval from anyone. If a woman is truly interested in him, she will respect his confidence, not his ability to over-explain. As Epictetus wisely said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. But if no one is able to convince me, then I must remain true to what I believe." Be firm. Be confident. And most importantly, let your actions speak louder than your words. 3. Being too emotionally reactive. One of the greatest strengths of a Stoic man is his ability to control his emotions, yet most men fail in this area, especially when dealing with women. They let their emotions dictate their actions, reacting impulsively to every slight, every mood swing, and every challenge a woman throws at them. They become overly excited when things go well and overly frustrated when things go wrong. This emotional instability makes them appear weak, unpredictable, and untrustworthy in a woman's eyes. Women are wired to test a man's emotional strength. It's not always conscious, but it's instinctive. They want to see if you can remain composed under pressure, if you can maintain your masculine frame even when they challenge you. When a man loses his temper, acts needy, or becomes defensive over small things, it signals a lack of control. And nothing repels attraction faster than a man who can't control himself. Stoicism teaches that external events should never dictate your internal state. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A man who is easily angered, easily hurt, or easily thrown off balance is a man who lacks power over himself. And if you don't have control over yourself, how can a woman trust you to lead? Let's break this down into common emotional reactions that destroy attraction. Reacting to tests with frustration. Women will test you. This is a fact. They may tease you, disagree with you, or even say things just to provoke a reaction. If you get defensive, argue, or act hurt, you fail the test. But if you remain calm, unbothered, and maybe even playfully respond, you show strength. Example. She says, "You're not as funny as I thought you'd be." A weak man. What? Of course, I am. You just don't get my humor. A stoic man. Smirks. Yet you're still here listening. The first man defends himself and seeks validation. The second man remains unshaken and even flips the situation in his favor. Women are drawn to men who can handle their tests with ease. Letting her mood dictate yours. A weak man mirrors a woman's emotions. If she's upset, he panics. If she's distant, he chases harder. If she's excited, he gets overly invested. This kind of emotional mirroring makes you seem like a follower, not a leader. A strong man maintains his emotional state no matter what. He is a rock, stable, calm, and unaffected by fleeting emotions. Example. She's acting cold and distant. A weak man. Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? A stoic man. Carries on as usual, not seeking reassurance. He understands that her mood is temporary and doesn't revolve around him. Women are naturally emotional creatures. They want a man who can remain steady, no matter what mood they're in. The moment you become reactive, you lose her respect. Overreacting to rejection or disrespect. Not every woman will be interested in you. Some will flake, some will lose interest, and some may even test your patience. A weak man takes this personally. He gets bitter, argues, or seeks revenge. A stoic man, on the other hand, walks away without a second thought. His self-worth is not tied to any single woman's approval. Example. A woman ignores your message. A weak man sends another message or gets angry. A stoic man moves on immediately, knowing that his time is too valuable to waste on someone who doesn't reciprocate interest. Women respect men who have the discipline to walk away. Desperation repels, while indifference attracts. Seeking validation through emotional displays. Some men believe that if they open up emotionally, cry, or express vulnerability too early, it will make a woman connect with them. But while emotional intelligence is important, Excessive emotional displays, especially in the early stages, can be seen as weakness. Women want a man who is emotionally available, not emotionally needy. A Stoic man is not emotionless. He simply does not let emotions control him. He shares his emotions with people who have earned that level of trust, but he never seeks sympathy or validation through them. When a woman sees that a man can remain calm, collected, and rational even under stress, she subconsciously feels safer with him. How to stop being emotionally reactive. Pause before reacting. When faced with an emotional trigger, take a deep breath before responding. Most emotional reactions are impulsive and can be avoided with a moment of reflection. Detach from outcomes. Don't place your happiness in someone else's hands. Whether she stays or leaves, praises or criticizes, your inner peace should remain unchanged. Embrace the power of silence. Not every comment, question, or insult needs a response. Sometimes, silence is the strongest reply. Adopt the mindset of a king. A king does not argue, overreact, or seek approval. He observes, decides, and moves forward with confidence. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you want to command respect and admiration from women, stop reacting emotionally and start leading with composure and strength. 4. Over-pursuing and acting desperate. One of the biggest mistakes men make with women is chasing too much. They believe that if they invest more time, energy, and effort into a woman, they will eventually win her over. They text too frequently, try to impress her at every turn, and prioritize her over everything else in their life. However, this approach does the opposite. It kills attraction. Attraction isn't something you force. It's something you inspire. Women are naturally drawn to men who are selective, confident, and in control of their own lives. When you chase excessively, you send the message that you have no other options, that you need her validation, and that you lack the ability to stand on your own. A high-value man doesn't chase, he attracts. He understands that his time and energy are valuable, and he invests them wisely. A Stoic man never places a woman on a pedestal. He doesn't view women as prizes to be won, but as individuals who must prove their value before earning a place in his life. He moves with purpose and intention, not desperation. He remains grounded, maintaining his sense of self no matter the circumstances. How over-pursuing destroys attraction. It signals that you have no other options. When a man constantly initiates conversations, rearranges his schedule to accommodate a woman, and seeks her approval at every turn, it signals that he has nothing else going on in his life. Women are drawn to men who have purpose, ambition, and direction. If you make her the center of your world too soon, she will subconsciously see you as someone who lacks abundance, and she will lose interest. A man who is genuinely valuable doesn't have to chase. He naturally attracts women because he is busy building his life, achieving his goals, and focusing on his own self-improvement. A man with options never appears desperate, because he knows that if one woman isn't interested, there are others who will be. It removes the element of challenge. Women crave excitement, mystery, and the thrill of the unknown. If you're always available, always responding immediately, and always catering to her every whim, she will quickly lose interest. There's no sense of challenge, no feeling of having to work for your attention. The moment a woman feels like she has fully won you without effort, attraction fades. People don't value things that come too easily. They value what is rare and requires effort to obtain. If you make yourself too accessible, too predictable, or too eager, you diminish your perceived value. A Stoic man understands this and keeps a level of detachment. He remains present but never over-invests until he sees genuine reciprocation. It makes you seem weak and needy. A woman wants a man she can respect, someone who is strong, independent, and emotionally secure. When you over-pursue, it signals weakness. It tells her that you need her more than she needs you, which shifts the power dynamic in an unhealthy way. Confidence is knowing that you are enough as you are. The moment a woman senses that you need her approval, her validation, or her presence to feel whole, she will start losing attraction. Women respect men who are self-assured, who do not seek permission to be themselves, and who are unafraid to walk away if their standards are not met. How to stop over-pursuing and start attracting. Match her effort. The golden rule of attraction is reciprocity. If she's not investing in you, don't invest in her. If she takes hours to reply, you take longer. If she cancels plans, don't immediately reschedule. Let her work for your time and attention. Be willing to walk away. A man who fears losing a woman will always be controlled by her. The strongest position you can take is one of abundance, knowing that no single woman defines your worth. The moment she senses that you have the strength to walk away, her respect and attraction for you will grow. Make her earn your attention. Women are not attracted to men who reward them for simply existing. A high-value man sets standards and expects effort, consistency, and respect before giving his time and energy. By holding yourself to a higher standard, you naturally inspire women to step up to meet it. Focus on your mission. Your purpose should always come first. The more purpose-driven you are, the less you will care about chasing women. Women should complement your life, not become the center of it. When you are deeply invested in your own growth, women will naturally gravitate toward you. Maintain emotional control. Women test men to see if they are emotionally strong. If she pulls away, let her. If she tests your patience, remain unbothered. If she plays games, refuse to engage. Your power lies in your ability to stay grounded, unaffected, and in control of your emotions. Seneca once said, "A wise man is content with himself." If you embody this mindset, women will naturally be drawn to you. They are not attracted to men who chase them. They are drawn to men who don't need them but choose them. 5. Being too emotionally reactive. Emotional reactivity is one of the fastest ways for a man to lose a woman's respect and attraction. When a man lacks control over his emotions, he signals instability, weakness, and insecurity, traits that are fundamentally unappealing to women. Women are naturally drawn to strength, composure, and leadership. They are biologically wired to seek men who exude confidence, stability, and an unshakable presence. A man who reacts emotionally to every situation, especially in moments of conflict or uncertainty, is essentially demonstrating that he is not in control of himself. Emotional reactivity manifests in many ways: anger, jealousy, neediness, insecurity, or even excessive excitement that lacks groundedness. While emotions are a natural part of being human, letting them dictate behavior is a sign of a lack of discipline and self-mastery. A man who allows his emotions to control him can be easily manipulated, pushed around, or tested without even realizing it. A woman needs to feel safe with a man, and safety is not just about physical protection, it's about emotional stability. If a man is unpredictable, moody, or easily thrown off balance, he creates an unstable environment. No woman wants to feel like she has to walk on eggshells around a man because she doesn't know how he will react to certain situations. A woman wants to feel like she is with someone who can handle adversity, stay composed under pressure, and maintain his frame regardless of external circumstances. The problem with emotional reactivity is that it signals a lack of self-control, and a man who cannot control himself is a man who cannot control his life. If his emotions dictate his decisions, he will always be at the mercy of the outside world. He will be reactive instead of proactive, defensive instead of assertive, and uncertain instead of decisive. These qualities create an environment of instability, which repels attraction rather than fostering it. The subtle ways emotional reactivity destroys respect and attraction. One of the biggest reasons emotional reactivity is so destructive is because it shifts the dynamic of power in a relationship. The more emotionally reactive a man is, the more he becomes dependent on external validation. If a woman can influence his emotions with a single action or word, she begins to lose respect for him. She sees him as someone who can be controlled, manipulated, or swayed based on her behavior. This is not an attractive quality in a man. It makes him seem weak, uncertain, and lacking in personal authority. Women instinctively test men, often without realizing it. These tests are not necessarily malicious. They are a way for a woman to assess a man's strength, confidence, and ability to lead. If she makes a teasing remark, challenges his opinion, or temporarily withdraws her attention, she is not necessarily trying to hurt him. She is unconsciously evaluating his level of self-assurance. If he reacts emotionally, whether by becoming defensive, insecure, or desperate for her approval, he instantly lowers his value in her eyes. She begins to see him as someone who lacks control over himself, which is deeply unattractive. On the other hand, a man who is emotionally stable and non-reactive commands respect effortlessly. He does not seek external validation because his confidence comes from within. He does not get upset over minor things because he has a larger perspective on life. He does not allow a woman's mood swings, temporary distance, or emotional fluctuations to affect his sense of self. Instead, he remains centered, composed, and in control, qualities that women find irresistibly attractive. How emotional reactivity leads to unhealthy relationship dynamics. Another reason emotional reactivity is so damaging is that it creates unhealthy patterns in relationships. When a man is overly reactive, he often becomes overly attached. He seeks constant reassurance, needs approval, and becomes emotionally dependent on a woman's attention. This puts unnecessary pressure on the relationship, as the woman begins to feel responsible for his emotional well-being. Instead of being drawn to him, she starts to feel burdened by his neediness. This dynamic often results in a cycle where the more emotionally reactive a man becomes, the more distant the woman grows. She subconsciously pulls away because she does not want to be with a man who lacks emotional independence. The more she pulls away, the more desperate and reactive he becomes, creating a downward spiral that ultimately leads to loss of respect, attraction, and eventually the end of the relationship. A woman does not want to feel like she is responsible for regulating a man's emotions. She wants a man who can stand on his own, who does not need constant reassurance, and who does not base his self-worth on her actions or decisions. If a man is unable to manage his emotions, he will always struggle to maintain a woman's respect. Emotional mastery: the key to attraction and respect. The solution to emotional reactivity is emotional mastery. A man who has mastered his emotions is unshakable. He does not react impulsively, he does not allow external circumstances to dictate his mood, and he does not rely on a woman's behavior for his sense of self-worth. Instead of reacting emotionally, a high-value man responds with calmness and clarity. He takes a step back before reacting, assesses situations logically, and remains composed regardless of what is happening around him. He understands that emotional control is a form of strength, and that true power lies in being able to manage his own mind rather than being controlled by it. Emotional mastery also involves shifting one's mindset from scarcity to abundance. A reactive man often behaves the way he does because he feels like he has something to lose. He fears losing a woman's attention, her approval, or her presence in his life. This fear drives his emotional reactions and makes him behave in ways that ultimately push her away. A man with an abundance mindset, on the other hand, understands that he is the prize. He does not operate from fear, desperation, or insecurity. He knows that no single person determines his value, and he carries himself with the confidence of someone who is whole and complete on his own. This energy is magnetic to women, as they are naturally drawn to men who are secure, self-sufficient, and emotionally independent. Practical steps to developing emotional mastery. Pause before reacting. When faced with a situation that triggers an emotional response, take a moment to pause. Do not react impulsively. Give yourself time to process the situation before responding. Detach from the outcome. The key to emotional control is detachment. Never place your happiness, confidence, or self-worth in the hands of another person. Whether a woman stays or leaves should not dictate your emotional state. Develop mental resilience. Train your mind to remain stable under pressure. Whether through meditation, journaling, or exposure to difficult situations, practice staying calm even when things do not go as planned. Adopt a Stoic mindset. The ancient Stoics understood that true strength comes from within. Focus on controlling your perception and reaction rather than external events. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Prioritize your purpose. The most attractive men are those who have a clear sense of purpose in life. When a man is deeply focused on his goals, passions, and mission, he naturally becomes less emotionally reactive. His energy is directed toward his purpose, not toward seeking validation from others. A woman does not want a man who is emotionally fragile or dependent on her for his sense of identity. She wants a man who is self-assured, who moves through life with confidence, and who remains calm under pressure. The moment a man allows emotional reactivity to dictate his actions, he loses the very strength that makes him attractive. Master your emotions, and you will command respect. Command respect, and you will naturally attract the right people into your life. Conclusion. Mastering the art of attraction isn't about tricks or gimmicks. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally commands respect and admiration. By avoiding these 5 crucial mistakes, you set yourself apart from the vast majority of men who sabotage themselves without even realizing it. A Stoic man doesn't chase, doesn't over-explain, and doesn't react emotionally. Instead, he leads with confidence, maintains his masculine presence, and stays in control of his emotions at all times. Women are naturally drawn to men who exhibit strength, strength of mind, strength of character, and strength of presence. When you stop people pleasing, stop explaining yourself, stop tolerating disrespect, stop being too available, and stop reacting emotionally, you shift from being just another option to being the man women respect and admire. If you found this video valuable, make sure to hit that like button to support the channel. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and let me know in the comments which of these 5 mistakes you've seen men make the most. And if you're ready to become the highest version of yourself, subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset and turn on notifications so you never miss a video on mastering life through Stoic wisdom. Remember, attraction isn't something you chase, it's something you become. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep leveling up. See you in the next video.